Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you 5 things that you should never do when you're shooting the basketball. And on this channel I'll show you basketball plays, drills, and skills. So if you like that stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. But anyways, let's get down to it. The first thing that I always recommend my players to never do, unless they're forced to, is to drift when they're shooting. And I'm not talking about fadeaways. A lot of coaches, at least at the younger levels, don't like fadeaway shots. That totally confuses me. It's useful in a game. If your player practices it, might as well use it in a game. However, it's drifting. So if you're driving towards the rim, let's say you are the rim right now, and you're driving towards the rim, and you step up and you drift sideways, unless you're really forced to, unless there's like 2 or 3 seconds left in the game, you shouldn't be doing this. The reason is if you're drifting left, your shot's gonna go left. If you're drifting right, your shot's gonna go right. And if you're a player who does do drifting when he shoots, this is one of those things that you've probably seen in your own shot. Now, to kind of combat that, you now need to kind of do a little bit of a physics lesson. If you were to shoot going on an angle or drifting, there's a little bit of a physics lesson there, which is instead of shooting like you normally would, if you're drifting left, you need to shoot a little bit more to the right, and if you're drifting right, you need to shoot a little bit more to the left. There's a little bit of a tip for you anyways. Now, the second thing that I always say that players should never do is shoot with their palms. So it's okay to have a little bit of your palm touching the ball, but you want to be able to fit a finger in between the ball and your palm. The reason for this is you're going to have more control of the ball. Unless you're somebody like Kawhi Leonard who has like freakishly gigantic hands, you're not going to be wanting to use your palm. For him, if you've got bigger hands, it does make more sense to use a little bit more of the palm on the ball because his palm like reaches almost halfway over the ball. So there's a little bit more of a lesson there. If you wanted, if you've got big hands, comment below. But use your fingertips, you get more control of the ball. You want the ball to roll off your middle finger, and this will allow you to have a straight shot. Now, another thing that you don't want to shoot is like Lonzo Ball. You don't want to have the ball go across your head. I corrected just a random person the other day who was playing at this court because he was missing every single one of his shots. He was 0 for like 40, and he was shooting like this. And I don't know how he was able to get it off, but he was missing every single shot anyway, so it didn't really matter. But as soon as I said, hey, instead of shooting this way, why don't you just bring it over to this side and shoot from the right side of your head, or even maybe over top of your forehead? And he tried that, and then he started making them. So it definitely works. There's a reason why Steph Curry shoots with his elbow pointing towards the rim, with his upper arm straight towards the rim. There's a reason, because he's one of the best shooters in the world. This is physics. Actually, in a future video, I'm going to talk about, let's do tomorrow's video. I'm going to talk about the basketball shooting robot and how he shoots, because that would be an interesting lesson as well. So going on to the fourth thing that I would never do when shooting a basketball. And the fourth thing that I see some basketball players do is shoot the ball without any spin. Spin will allow you to have the ball kind of bounce around the rim if you're just a little bit off. It makes your shot a lot softer so that it can bounce in. Now, I don't know how players shoot without spin. It totally confuses me. I've had a few players who I've trained who shoot without spin, and I've never been able to recreate that. I've tried, and it just doesn't work for me. But if you have the ball roll off your hand, off your middle finger, you're gonna have spin, you're gonna have a softer shot, you're gonna have a straighter shot. And if you're in a little bit of wind like we are today, it's gonna allow it to cut through the wind if you're playing outside a little bit better. Now, another thing I see a lot of young players do is shoot with either 2 hands, or they'll shoot, but they'll still have their thumb pushing the ball off, which again, I don't know how that feels comfortable, but somehow they sometimes do get a lot more spin having the ball roll off their left thumb, but you don't want to use your left hand. The reason is now, if there is that case where you're trying to rush your shot, there's going to be a large percentage of a chance of that left hand pushing the ball too far to the right, and in which case you're going to miss the shot. Especially if it's in the end of the game, you're going to be wanting to make that shot. So be like that basketball shooting robot, straight arm, one hand, and you'll get a nice straight shot. Now, I hope that today's video has helped you become a better basketball shooter. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another daily basketball video.